Center is called Dynamic Duos. The title is mainly because students will be working in pairs on this learning center. The standards I addressed, this is for 3rd grade by the way. Standards are find the sum or difference of two whole numbers between 0 and 10,000. Memorize to automatically the multiplication table numbers between 1 and 10. Use the inverse relationship of multiplication and division to compute and check results. Solve simple problems using Solve simple problems involving multiplication of multi-digit numbers by one-digit numbers, and understand the special properties of 0 and 1 in multiplication. Basically, there's 5 activities, and all of them involve either dice, or playing cards, or both. The first activity, it says the students will rock, paper, scissors to see who goes first, and they have to remember how many rolls it takes them, but I'll explain in the game. So they'll play rock, paper, scissors, and then the player who wins that rolls first and adds the two numbers together that he gets. So say I roll it, and I get a 2 and a 1, so I have a 3. And then the player 2 rolls the same thing, and so he rolls a 10. And then so they'll record on their scrap paper, which says right here, use a scrap paper to help you. They'll record their number, and then the next roll they'll keep adding their numbers until they get to close to 100. And once they get to almost 100, they will keep rolling, and if they go over, if the number is too high to get 100, they have to go back to the number they were at and keep rolling until they get to 100. And the first one to 100, it stops, and then they start from 100 and roll and subtract from 100 to 0 in the same fashion. And they can't go past 0, they have to roll the exact number that will get them to 0. And then once they're done with that activity, they record it on this is the finish line and they write down how many rolls it took them to get to 100 and how many rolls it took them to get back to 0. And then activity 2 is called Product Hunter. The player 2 goes first just because player 1 went first in the first one. Roll 2. Player 2 starts rolling 2 dice, but 1 at a time. So the first dice will be the tens place. So I get a 2. So then the second dice will be the ones place. So I get 2 and a 4 is 24. And then the second player will roll the dice it's in the same way. So the first number is 5 and the second is 5, so it's 55. So then as a team they would multiply 24 times 55, and then they would repeat this process 10 times and add up all of their products and then record their final number at the finish line. Activity 3 involves the playing cards. The deck will be split in half, and they're not to look at the cards. Just for value's sake, ace is worth 1, jack, queen, and king are worth 10, and all of the cards are worth their face value. Both players put down 2 cards at a time, and it's kind of similar to war, to Game of War. And they multiply their 2 cards that they put down together, and then the larger product takes the 4 cards. If the product is the same product, then they do it again, and then they get all 8 if they win. And I don't have a timer. I was gonna bring a little timer, and it would be like a 3-minute or 4-minute thing, where it would just go and then once the timer's out, they count their cards and record their number of cards that they finish with on the finish line. Activity 4 is called Big Adding. It's also with the cards. They'll split the deck between themselves, and they're not to look at the cards again. And then it's a little different. The values, the ace is 1, and the jack, queen, and king are all 0, and then all other cards are their face value. And then both players will put down 4 cards. The first number will be the thousands place, the second number will be the hundreds place, the third number will be the tens, and the fourth the ones place, making a 4-digit number. So each player will do that, and then as a team they'll add these together, and they will continue till you and your partner get as close to 10,000 as you possibly can, and then you record the number that you get to without going over 10,000 at the finish line. And then activity 5 is called partner multiplying. One player gets the deck of cards, and one player gets the dice, one dice. The first player with the with the deck of cards put down those 4 cards, just the same way as activity 4. So the first card's thousands, hundreds, tens, and ones, and then the second player will roll 1 dice, and they will multiply the large number by the single-digit number. Repeat this process 5 times, and then add up all of their products and record it at the finish line. And then this scrap paper is for them to use. Ideally, I'd probably have 1 full sheet of paper for each group. I just kind of broke it up into sections. If they need help, make sure you ask your partner, and if they don't know the answer, you can ask 1 or 2 other groups before raising your hand to ask for the teacher's assistance. And when finished with all of the activities, make sure the dice are put away where they were. Clean up the area you were using, and you can keep playing the war game, but you can use 3 cards and add them, or kind of make up your own rules if you want to, but try to use math. And